to be cemented into history. When you watch Fidan Files, you're not just watching a podcast. You're gaining access to conversations that challenge how you think. You'll hear from entrepreneurs, innovators, creators, and those who move in silence, but make a massive impact. These are the people shaping the future, and you'll get their raw, unfiltered perspectives, straight from them. Our goal isn't just to talk, it's to preserve. These conversations are more than content. They are archives of human thought and action, designed to be revisited by future generations. If you want to understand what's really happening in our time, you need to be watching Fidan Files. This is more than a podcast. This is documentation. This is history in the making. Subscribe now, join the conversation, and become part of the record. Fidan Files, for the thinkers, the builders, and those who want to see the world differently. All right, everyone, welcome back. I'm sitting here with Dwayne with VizX Design Studios. And thank you for making the drive, my friend, to come sit down with me, have an awesome conversation. And I want to stay as much as we can into the future of what you're building. I know you've been had an awesome track record, but we're going to try and lean as much as we can from that foundation that you've built. And, you know, we're going to head into the future strong. So we're going to start off with a future headline. It's 2028, and the headline reads, VizX Design Studios launches the first fully AI-designed luxury outdoor living collection. How do we make that happen?
We're working on that right now. You missed it. We were just in here laughing that as of right now, VizX has an AI podcast.
Beautiful.
that we
So
actually upload information. We're in it right now. We're doing that now. Matter of fact, that's who we are. We've created the 5-step design process, and a lot of that is already AI animated. Like you ever heard of LiDAR technology?
Yep.
So we use LiDAR now to get our measurements. We upload that stuff into our AI. Like I actually wrote different like AI pieces that it analyzes the home. It actually draws out mood boards, information from that. I also evaluate every client, and that evaluation of the client gives us a score of how they're going to move forward or not. Like, and it's really dope. If they score below 60, they're almost like a no-go. If they score above 60, they're a no-go. And then it also gives me notes of what to say to them to actually push them over the table.
Wow.
So we're 2025.
You're ready. So approaching, we're in 2025. 2028 then. Let's think outside the box. Like if that's what we're in now, what are you expecting, 3 years from now? How do you think this is going to go?
The build still has to happen.
Okay.
So what could happen in 2028, and I know it's actually going to happen, is the idea, the plan, and everything will be put together, but the execution will still be handed off to physical, but there would probably be a lot of AI interaction inside that. And then live stuff, like as we're building, somebody's at an office, a human person or an AI is looking at what's going on live and saying, hey, move that block, change that, and it's all happening live.
How long have you been doing this? Or has 2025 been the year transition for you? Or when did you kind of start dabbling with a lot of this stuff?
2024 was the AI transition. 25 is, I've been in business for 20 years. 25 is the year that I felt like I became the business owner and not the business doer. This is the year. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think? I'm sure AI is pretty much the general reason, but is there anything very specific to that?
No, I got my butt kicked.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Oh, shit. That's happened a few times with me too. I'll take that.
Yeah, I got my nose smashed in, and then I had to wake up and figured I had to read, study, learn, and I start figuring it out. Like I was actually on my way here, and I was telling my wife, I said, I got this. Like it was today. I was like, I got this.
For real.
Because I want to look at it buying in other companies and buying other businesses. It's like I'm a business owner now. Now I want to own other companies.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Where, besides like just kind of future predictions, is there anything in your guys' industry that you're seeing that, with the future is like, hey, this is, if you're not doing this, or if you're, not in this sector, if you're not kind of doing this method, like you're going to be left behind, anything like that?
To be real, I think our industry has not woken up yet at all. So the whole goal that I've been at, and I've actually put my life on the line for this, is I'm really trying to wake up the outdoor living to make it something. Like
Mhm.
a homeowner will still call a patio guy or a deck guy and have a patio or deck that has nothing to do with their home.
Mhm.
As nice as the decoration is in the studio,
Mhm.
I want this to be outside at somebody's
Mm.
house. Like, and it's an
Mm.
arrogant push that I really want to be behind it. And so it's slowly going, but the value of outdoor is still not there. And so that's what I want to put.
Got it.
Not want, that's what I'm pushing.
That's interesting because I do follow a good amount of business owners in similar spaces, and I would say they're pretty outdated. I would say out of a lot of the industries, they're definitely one that's hasn't made that push. So I think you're spot on. I think there's really set yourself, you know, from the rest.
Yeah.
And
It,
it's
it,
if you do
it's
so,
not
it's good.
rich enough
Mm.
is the best thing I could say is like a lot of it is going on right now. And like a manufacturer will make like a paver or a wall stone and they just use the same paver or wall stone. They're not using other materials like even this material
Mhm.
here. I have a project that I designed this on the back of the house.
Mhm.
I mean, something like this. And the homeowner's looking like, what the, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
they talked to other companies, but nobody thought to do that. And I had the lighting on the inside around there, and like,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm talking about. It's like let's get in this,
Mhm.
let's really start hitting it hard and give it some value.
For sure. Do you think comparative to when how long have you had BizX for?
BizX has been in business for 11 years,
Got it. And
12 years,
from
12 years.
in 12 years, let's say, let's say another 12 years goes by and you're still rocking and rolling with this. Do you see having the same mindset and like tactical as far as like creativity, customizability, things like that in the future? And you think that's kind of where
I
you'll
believe
really
that's
see
where it's
fit?
going to have to go.
Mhm.
It's going to have to get to that level in order to really move forward. I think if a homeowner really wants to gain more value in their homes, it's going to have to move to that level. It's going to have to.
I would think that homeowners, being in that industry a lot, just home services, things like that, I've seen a lot from the consumer end. I've seen a lot from, business owner end, being a salesman. Do you think if money wasn't an issue, people would choose your route much more often? Because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think I would assume that you're more of the pricier option.
yeah.
I could be wrong, but I would assume that there's probably a lot of cookie cutter, like you're saying, like hey, if you want this in your backyard, it's like, but that's not the best fit. Or you did the same thing in that person's yard and they're two different yards, and like, do you think that, let's just say, yeah, money gets thrown aside, people choose your option. I would assume 10 out of 10 times more options.
How can I answer this by
Mm-hmm.
not sounding complicated?
Mm-hmm.
It's the money, but it's value for money. And what I want to say is we're in a market that doesn't respect in terms of value outdoor spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So like California, for instance, the they're not building any more houses. They're stuck. You know, there's not a new house going next door or in LA anywhere. So what happens is their home now becomes their investment. They got to keep adding on and keep adding on. And so they've done the renovations on the inside, they're done. So now they're doing the renovations to the outside. They're doing the curb appeal. They're doing the backyard
Mm-hmm.
space. They're doing it. We haven't gotten to that point yet,
Mm-hmm.
but that's a point that I see in 2028. We're going to get to that point where we have to start investing on the curb appeal. When somebody pulls up to your house and they look at your driveway, they're going to need to see a very nice driveway, the lighting, the walkway, everything is going to have to match the home. It's slowly getting there. But
Got it.
once that happens, I think that's when people will say, let's spend the money. It's like
Mm-hmm.
a kitchen. You
Totally.
know, if you get a kitchen, you know you're going to spend almost $100,000. You know, if you get your basement remodeled or your master bedroom remodeled, you know it's going to be a lot of money. It's just not that for the outdoors yet. Just yet.
Gotcha.
It's coming.
The
Yeah.
clarity of it. Let's say you have an endless budget. Um, what's kind of like something you love to design, or like right now, if you had a dream package put together, what are you kind of envisioning? Is it here, in the Chicago burbs, in a different state? What type of community? Just
It really,
Let's picture it. Let's manifest
I
it.
am, I am, I have fallen in love with small spaces.
Mm,
And, everybody wants this big backyard, it's huge space.
mhm,
Maybe because my architecture background, I don't, I don't need a large space to do anything. I
mhm.
can do it in a smaller space, and I can make a small space look really, really neat and comfortable,
Got it.
like vignetted space. I like those better than a bunch of large spaces. So. And it doesn't really matter the money because it's the material. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, I call it rich. Doesn't mean rich in money, but just rich in the style of material, the taste of it.
That's perfect. So then, like, that outdoor space, small, big, but hypothetically, this one's small. What type of features, tech, all that is involved?
Oh, everything. Fire features, water
Mhm,
features, built-in speakers.
mhm,
I'll have outdoor Wi-Fi systems. I mean, something like this, I'll probably have a water wall. So
mhm.
as you're sitting here, water's coming down the wall and it's not splashing on you. So I'll have to figure out how to put the water on the inside so you get the sound. But I'm going all out on something
And
like this.
do you mainly focus residential?
We are we are a residential based company,
Yeah.
and because of what we're doing in our style, we're starting to get some traction in commercial. We have not
Okay.
gone after the commercial, but they're calling us up. Like
Yeah.
we've done the Marriott Hotel, the Chicago, not Chicago Marriott, but the Courtyard Marriott over in by the casino.
Okay.
We did Uptown LaGrange. We did that outdoor living space out there. We did Labresis as a condominium complex in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Hmm.
So it's just they're starting to see that these outdoor amenities are important to the values
Hmm.
of their properties, and they can charge more, basically.
How big of a team do you need to, be operating this? Or
Oh, we're running on 3 people right now.
got it.
Yeah. Now I could use 2 more,
Yeah.
but we're running on 3 right now.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. We were talking, a ton AI agents yesterday, and I mean, it's hard to find an industry that can't use them,
Hmm.
and it's like, if you could keep a team down to three, you know, absolute killers. I mean, versus 30 people that, aren't rooting for your vision. Um, I'll choose that option all
Yeah.
day, 100, 10 times out of 10. So, um, any tech that you just can't live without of in your business?
Um, there's one tech that owns me, and I can't stand that they own me, but it's our project management software.
Hmm.
Oh God, I like the company, but I hate paying them every single month. And I try my best to get out of paying it every single month, and I cannot get away from it. I have to pay them, and they know it, and they keep raising the prices on me, and they drive me insane. Like I want to fight with them, like I want to pick an argument with them, but they do it.
Like,
What their
damn, I need to.
services does, it does, and I hate the fact that they like. I feel like they're pimping me, man.
Yeah. It's
I hate the pimp feeling.
No, for sure. It's like Adobe
Yeah, oh
Creative
my
Cloud. That's
God.
like, I need just Premiere Pro, but like they want to sell you on
Oh,
everything.
it's like $54. And then, oh
Yeah.
yeah, Adobe is $54.
I know. Crazy.
I believe it's harder to run a business
Mhm.
now in terms of expenses than ever before.
So many options and so many bells and whistles. And then you feel like if you don't have one, you're like, man, I'm not creating this company to its fullest. That's at least
Well,
what I feel.
the software pimp.
Hmm.
Like, when you could buy QuickBooks once
Hmm.
and that was it.
Yeah.
Now, and it was $99. Now QuickBooks is $200 a month. And like, and
For
you have to keep
for
paying.
just one layer.
Yeah.
Just for one layer of
Yeah.
the onion. Like
Yeah.
that's something I've most recently learned a lot too, because just really diving deep and more so just becoming more thorough with companies that I'm building and not just like superficial like before. Not to dip too much in the past, but it was just always like the visuals, the superficial stuff, the website, social medias, all that. Now it's like none of that stuff is valuable. I'm like the only things that are valuable are like the systems ops and like the stuff that if I go to sell my company to you, it's like, hey, you could actually take this and run with. Versus
Hmm.
before it was just like, wait, if I give you all this, like I still have to operate all this and I have to. It's like there's nothing valuable here. So now, most recently with all those softwares, I've come to realize I'm like, damn, stuff's expensive,
Hmm.
and more so not just expensive, it's just like there's a lot. And
Hmm.
like then most recently I wanted to build a company for free. So I actually tried my best and
How'd you do?
I got close. I got like I would say 80, I would say like 85%, but then there's like those small areas where it's like I need a paid,
Yeah.
option here. And like why they're created, and I think these, obviously these great software companies are dominating, and they build great options, so like if you want to build a good company, it's like you can't really get away from them. It's like you could only operate in Google products for so long, Google Sheets and all that, and they're amazing.
I use chat. What I did was after getting punched in the nose last year and the beginning of this year, I ran all my expenses through Chat GPT, and then I said, "What services do you see that I'm paying for that I can get rid of?" It was mind blowing. Like I started going through and canceling this, canceling that, canceling. I started rent-barking, and then the ones that you were on the fence about, like okay, I put a yellow mark on it, like I need to keep it, don't keep it, and like I said, that's why I keep beating down that company, like, and it's so bad now. I hit them every single month trying to get some type of discount somewhere. And they actually are doing it. Me being in the military, I had 10% off.
Got it.
You know what I mean? I'm like, man, I don't know if I want all the services. Can you cut? Well, this is Dwayne. This is like I know they're tired of dealing with me, and it's just I just cannot stand paying $1,000 a month for software. Like it drives me insane. Yeah,
that's how much it is.
Yeah, but it runs the sales division. It runs the sales division. It runs the construction management. And then it has a porthole where clients dial in. All the payments are done from that. So like, and they own it. You know what I mean? They own me. They own my environment, but I hate that.
No, I believe it.
I got it down to like 870.
We're calling them after this live. Like, hey,
I want another discount, man.
Please. I mean, anything you could save is like, what I've realized is like, yeah, it may seem minimal, but like that over the year, that over 10 years, your guys' career, it's like 10, 12 years. It's a lot of, it's a whole extra employee then eventually you could afford, which is a whole nother life that you could change. Like that's the way I started to look. It's like, if you could save in other areas, it's not just about income and profit to you, but it's like, I could bring a whole nother person onto my team. So I could maybe bring somebody who hates their job and now is in a place where they enjoy. All based off smart decisions.
But like, it's a future life too. Is like, okay, so we're talking. This is actually pretty neat that you have this this whole topic.
Yeah.
But as a future life, I think one of the things that we miss is we're not taking care of our life. We're taking care of the business. And so we're like, as long as the business grows, it grows, it grows, it grows. You can brag about owning a business. But if you really think about the future, it's your life. That like the business is just paying you to live a better life.
Right.
And if you're cutting expenses, you're watching your spending and you're watching things, you now have more money to create your better life. Like I know it's great to hire a new person and live a better life too, but if your life is not a better life, it doesn't matter who you hire or bring in. So it's really about cutting all those expenses and trying to put the max dollar in my pocket. Like that's what I'm at now. Like how much more money can I put in my pocket?
Got it. Wayne's hungry right now.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. I think this is going to be a good year. I think this final 2025. No, I'm all for that. I think, especially because if you bring somebody into like shitty environment, like you're vibing off a low frequency, and you're just you're bringing somebody into that. It's like now you're doing them a disservice. Yeah. And not only you're not helping you, you're not helping them. So it's like if you don't fix yourself first, no reason to be helping anybody else.
You can't brag about, like, I used to brag about, like, I made this many millions this year. I did this year. And did I really? I didn't do it. Business did. I didn't. Yeah.
Interesting.
What bragging is that? That doesn't do anything.
No, that's interesting. I think with, I've noticed a lot with just being in stocks and investments and stuff like that. I kind of get a little big head in some areas where I'm just like, I feel like I own Costco, like I own Pepsi. Like we were just talking about this, and I'm like, it's like just because I own a few pieces, I'm like resharing them on my stories, and my friends are like, what are you doing this for? I'm like, I'm a part owner of Pepsi. Like,
but you are, are.
I know a little bit, It's like, but no, man, I think
if you were. You got to really think about perspective. And this is where gratitude and things like that, and that's like my new prayers. Even this morning, my meditation was 40 minutes, and it was based on a gratitude meditation. So I went deep into this meditation on gratitude. But let's say you were somebody off the streets living off the streets,
Mhm.
and you had those shares of ownership of those companies, you
Mhm.
would feel like you own the company.
Yeah.
I mean, you really do. Like
Mhm.
I have Amazon, Microsoft, all of this stuff. I own the company now.
Mhm.
Do I don't walk around and beat on my chest like I own it. Maybe I should.
Mhm.
I need to take your philosophy and say, man, I own some of this shit. You know what I mean?
It does. I mean, it makes me feel good sometimes, but it's like you could be an owner, you could be an operator, you could be a boss, you could be a manager, then you could be an employee, and then you could be a slave. And it's like I feel like at times you need to be a little bit of them all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you're only gonna appreciate being the owner when you are the slave. Or like when um, like when you're truly a boss or a manager. I noticed this like when I was working for my family's restaurant or, my dad's roofing company growing up, and it's like you really appreciate when now you're in ownership or in a management position. Now that I'm doing a lot of hiring and doing like more admin stuff, it's like I appreciate, it's like, damn, like it was kind of nice just to be a server, like run around sometimes, and not have to take on so much liability. But then it's like when you're in those positions, all you're doing is looking up and you're like, man, like I just want to be the owner of this place. And then it's like, and that's how it is. It's like when you're on vacation, where do you always want to be? You want to be at work. And when you're at work, you want to be on vacation.
Yeah.
A lot of perspective, and you got to be have a lot of gratitude, like you said, practicing that. You got to be grateful for where you're at and where God has brought you, and God brought us to a great conversation today.
Yeah.
I think
you can't do gratitude. What I'm learning, you have to be gratitude. You got to be gracious. You can't do gracious. You got to be it. And your life, I'm learning that your life is your practice. So whatever you're practicing every day, conscious or non-conscious, is the way your life is evolving to.
mm,
And so I have been practicing heavily gratitude to get into the being of it and not doing it. And so everything, it was just the fact
mm,
that I walked in here, man, with my 2 feet.
mm.
I mean, you got to thank God for that. I can see,
Yeah, for sure.
dude, I was able to run up the stairs and not be out of breath. I took the stairs, not the elevator.
No, and I get eye open to that pretty often too, because I'm like, I had people in my family have gotten sick pretty bad, and it's like, and I look at myself and I'm like, man, you're gifted. I remember some of my toughest times, not to go back in the past, but it was like, I'm like, when I thought, so I'm like, man, I'm in the worst spot of my life, and I get hit with, my grandpa told me, he's like, you're lucky. I'm like, I'm lucky. I'm like, how am I lucky right now? Like, and he's like, you've got everything you need. You're healthy, you're fit, you got money, you got this. You have everything you possibly need. He's like, you're lucky. And besides gratitude, I think I've been really practicing authenticity, and I think they're pretty close, and they kind of go hand in hand. I think it's like if you're grateful, then you'll be very authentic. Because I'll catch myself, you know, um, either with certain people or in certain environments, and being an owner versus when I'm, doing the job, it's like you start to lose a little bit of gratitude. But then as soon as you are grateful for those moments, then all of a sudden, hey, wait, now I'm back to being authentic again, being back to who I am. So a lot of good stuff to practice. How can somebody practice gratitude right away?
Right away, we're talking about the future and stuff like that. I think we're in the greatest time of mankind right now. It's because any given second we can pull up a YouTube video, we can pull up Instagram posts.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually how it happens. Like
Mm-hmm.
you pull up a gratitude meditation, Joe Dispenza is going to pop up,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a 30-minute session. Then what happens is once your phone knows that you've watched 2 or 3 of them, boom, next time you open Instagram, something's going to pop up. Next time you open TikTok, something's going to pop up.
Mm-hmm.
So matter of fact, all you have to do is probably watch 2 videos on YouTube, and then it's going to take off from there. And then the algorithm is going to feed you into this path of this enlightening light. Like it's really not much work anymore. I mean, we're in the greatest of mankind right now.
Agreed. I think planting the seed is like just watch the video. Do a little research. Ask Chad a question and then just let it blossom. And it's like
I think you have to understand that I'm going to say that it's the magic of life, okay? But it's not really magic. It's actually what life really is based on being grateful that we walk, being happy that we can breathe. For some of us, for some reason, 98% of the world thinks it's magic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm past the magic, and I'm part of the 2% who realize this is what life really is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I practice these things, and my life has become such. Like, even when I go through hard times, I'm always on, okay, like how you and I, we were talking about some of the rules on staying on the future.
Yep.
And I was like, dude, this is dope, because I was just going through a beat up session
Mm-hmm.
in my brain about a week ago. And you know how you beat yourself down, you're this and you're that,
Sure.
and you're that. And then, like, after it was all done, it was like literally God came down and landed on my left ear and said,
Mm-hmm.
bro, you learned all that so you can be something great later in the future.
Totally.
And I was like, it's like I look back at God like, oh, really, dude? You put me through all that? Like, really, this is not fun. You know,
Couldn't have took it easy on me?
that was messed up. But when you look at it, like, it's been some rough shit. You know what I mean? But it's only made me stronger.
Totally.
Like, it was the very thing where I'm driving here today, and I was listening to, I drank the juice of John Hope Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm listening to all his podcasts, reading his books,
Mm-hmm.
and he's saying financial literacy is the new civil rights movement.
Got it.
And we have to learn how to manage money. We got to learn how to, bank our systems right. And he's like, it's not even a color thing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's that everybody in America needs to start getting on this financial thing. It's not the black community. It's not the white community. Man, we're in a situation where we all need to be strong together as one. And he's like, this is the new civil rights. And he was talking about how you buy new businesses and I'm sitting listening like, damn, okay, I can buy this company. I can buy this company. I text my wife and said, you got to listen to this video. I said, I can do this. I said, we can do this. We can start buying other companies. I'm like, I'm like, you're right. This is the hungry time.
For sure. No, I think I'm all for it. I think, we have like every resource to like be successful. And it's like, it's tough getting in a conversation with some people. I'm like, man, like you've had, especially like people that are older than me, it's like, you definitely have had more time. So it's like, why are you still on the sidelines? Mm-hmm. And it's like, everybody's got a different scenario, but it's like, you gotta try and learn about financial literacy. You gotta try and learn about money, about capital markets, about investing. It's like, if you're not even trying, then you're doing a disservice to yourself, your family, your economy. It's like, and I don't want to root for those people. I'm sorry, but it's like, if I will always root for somebody that is trying their absolute best, or at least trying a little bit, and it's like taking a few steps and just putting left in front of right and keep going. It's like, I will 100%, I'll root for you. It's the stagnant, not just people, but just stagnant concepts, stagnant ideas, people, things like that. And it's like hard to get behind that, because we have so much ready to go.
There's only, believe it or not, there's only 2% of the world who are successful. That's it.
Which is crazy.
And the reason why those people are like that is because proximity is power. Like, who you're around is who you become. So you become your environment. Like, me being in landscaping is the easiest way for me to explain this. Mm-hmm. If I go to Florida, if you and I hop on a plane right now and we fly to Florida and you say, hey, I like that plant. It's a nice, pretty flowering plant. We wrap it up, we throw it in the plane, we fly up, back up here, and we plant it. In about 6 months, that plant is either going to die or it's going to turn into a different form of what it was in Florida. And it's the same with what you're saying. And the reason why it's so bad is because only 2% understand that they could be something better, something great, and 98% does not. So all your surroundings that you're around, everything you hear at the traffic light, at your friend's house, when you're at family reunion, when you're at the bar, it's all ga, 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 ga. And so what happens is once you wake up to this, you almost become weird because you got to live in a level of isolation and you got to protect your mind, your thoughts, and everything with greatness at all times. At all times. Wow. It's tough.
Wow.
Fucked you up.
A little bit. No, seriously. That was, oh man. Flip that. And, well, because what I've noticed with like you said, you got to be a little weird and like 98. Okay, so how do we get just 1 more %? Because obviously we're not turning the 98, and so how do we get it down to 97, 96? And it's like
those are lifetimes. Those are lifetimes because these are mindsets. I mean, those are lifetimes. We're talking another 200 years.
Yeah.
That, with AI and things like that, it's going to move things faster.
We might be able to stay alive for that.
But it does not matter how much technology you have. It doesn't matter how much, it doesn't even matter how much money you have. You can even be rich and still have a poor mentality of who you are, you become. The quality of your life is based on what you're thinking about the most.
Totally.
And then it really is the matrix. Like what happens is, and this has probably happened to you several times in your life, that a 2%er is tugging on your shirt strings, and you think they're crazy. And they're like, okay, you could do this, you could go do it. And you're like, man, get away, get away, get away. And then they disappear, and then another 2%er grabs you and tugs you. And finally, when you answer that call, you wake up like, oh, wow. Damn. This is it. And it really ain't much. It's just changing your mindset. But you could stay in this because everything around you says stop, no, don't. Everything.
I feel like when that happens too, you either take off like a filter that you either had on, or you put on a new one that you're very proud of too. Because I've noticed when I've gotten around the 2%ers and just people doing way greater than I am, and it's like at first you're like, you're right, it's not to like the biggest difference, you know, and you're all of a sudden like, damn, all I needed to do was open this door, or the door was already wide open. All I had to do was walk through it, and then you're in, and you're like, wait, I'm just the same as you. I'm another human, just like you. I'm like, that kind of changed my mind to where it's like, hey, you could run with any opportunity, you know? And it's like, it doesn't matter your age or anything. It's like, it's all for the taking. And whoever's willing is like to go out and start grabbing it, chasing it. Like, I think once I started to get into those networks, I really started to notice the bad networks of mine.
I meant
bad family, bad friends, things like that.
Space down.
And it's like difficult to start, you know, cutting off those strings, ropes, everything, you know. And my phone wallpaper, actually gave it to Chad. I told him to make me a wallpaper that I wanted to look at every day based off how I was currently feeling. And I told him, I was like, you know, I currently feel attached to friends and certain people that are holding me back. And it couldn't have built a better picture. It was of a cheetah that's held back by a few other cheetahs, right? And cheetahs usually hunt alone. They don't growl like lions and tigers and stuff like that. They're very just like, they're ready to hunt. They don't talk much, things like that. And I found that, you know, I'm a little bit like a cheetah. I'm fast. I don't talk to, you know, when I'm in a room with a lot of people, I'm not one to like be talking a ton. I'm not the alpha male type, you know, more of the sigma type. And I was like, man, this is crazy. You just built this picture. And like what I've noticed with my, you know, some of my close friends, I've really been trying to pull them forward, which has been helping. I think they've been starting to adopt a lot of what I've been about over the last few years. But there's a few that I really care about, and also a few family members I really care about that I for sure think are holding me back. But if not me, I don't care about. I'm gonna strive forward no matter. But I think they're holding some of their networks, their family, and it's just like it's hard to stick around that.
You're not gonna like me for saying this. Not that you're gonna hate me. And I just learned this because I went through the same thing. I actually went through what you call survivor's guilt.
Okay.
So I grew up very modest household. I mean, my mom and dad, I thought my mom and dad were rich growing up, I mean, compared to everybody else, but they were, I mean, credit cards, everything to survive, you know? And so as I get out here in this business world, start making money, then, you know, I mean, I'm starting to see the $1 million marks and stuff like that. I've started feeling bad for making it. Then what I was doing was I was reaching back and grabbing, and that doesn't do anything for you. And what I've recently learned is when you get your foot over that fence, you take off and you run like hell. You don't look back and grab anybody, okay? As you are building your life and things change, they're going to start reaching out to you, or they're going to start following you and saying, hey, I like what you're doing. Can you do that? But if you're trying to motivate, like, okay, what time do you wake up in the morning?
Usually about 6:45, 7.
Okay, my alarm clock goes off at 5:10 because if I don't get my butt out of bed by 4:30, I at least need to be up by 5:10. I can't tell you to do that and you do that every morning. You got to do that on your own. You mean? So I got to make sure I'm up because I do a form of meditation. I go bike ride, maybe 20 miles, whatever I feel like doing that day. I do that, but it starts at in between 4:30 and 5:10. That's not something that I can't keep telling you to do because you don't want to do it. You got to do that on your own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I read on the way here, most people would have been jamming. It was an hour and 45-minute drive.
Yeah.
Would have been jamming. We would have went through a whole Spotify playlist.
Yeah.
Hell no. I went through an audio book and a podcast on business. And then it got to a point where I wanted to learn about EBITDA. I grabbed my phone and I was having a hell of a conversation with Chat GPT, which was dope as hell.
Best.
It was breaking me down about EBITDA.
All these notifications.
Yeah. Huh?
You got all these notifications going off.
It's breaking me down. Like, so, and I'm just keep getting curious and curious and curious. You gotta want that. You gotta teach that. I can't teach it.
Yeah.
And so I can't keep calling you up like, hey man, are you on your shit? No, you gotta, if you're on it or you're not. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you about it. And
that's exhausting too, to do that. I've noticed that with friends or employees. It's just like, it'll drain you and then it makes you want to give up on what you're building, because you're like, well, maybe I'm not on the right path, or what I think is right is not. You know, I thought that for sure in crypto. I thought that for sure in some of my few startups. It was like, you know, I kind of tested it, built it. I'm like, I'm all for this, and I trust myself. And then I go and like show it to like a friend or a family member, and they're just like critiquing it, you know, and it's like, it shuts you down. But all they're trying to do is kind of help, you know, or like give you some feedback. And but then it's like, then who you asking feedback from too, you know? And it's like, I used to always ask it from my mom, you know, and all the time. And it was like, my mom was hard. She was always like, you know, getting into like some important stuff. And I would be like, I wouldn't even thought about that. So I'd get mad. I'd be like, that's not what I'm showing you, Mom. I'm just showing you the damn landing page. You know, like, what do you think? Does it look cool or not? You know, has it got cool transitions? And, you know, I would get like put down because I'm like, man, like she would bring up some area. And then now, like looking back, and I'm like, man, like she was just pointing out like obvious stuff as a business owner that I just never even thought was important at the time.
Sometimes that dumb naiveness is your edge. I mean, I got one. It was probably, it's the simplest one, but probably the worst one. But my dad had this lawn care grass cutting business. And so, man, I never forget this. It's so stupid. And when I look back, like, I can't believe it. But it let me know that I have courage to make a mistake. So this lady calls me up, and it's an older black woman. So she's not nice at all. She's like this teacher attitude. She's sort of mean, but I'm like, I want to take care of her. So she's like, do you do fertilization? I was like, yeah, we do fertilization. So I'm like, yeah. So I go into my dad's garage, and he has like this weed and feed product. And he has this, there's two types of spreaders, which I didn't know. So you have a drop spreader and you have a broadcast. Okay. I grab the drop spreader, the one that just drops down. Okay. And I feed the shit out of this yard. I mean, I go back, I go around, I did like a crisscross in her yard. A week later, we drive up to cut the grass, and she's standing out there waiting for me. And the crisscrosses are in the yard. I destroyed her. Like, it's green as hell. And she's basically, I'm getting fired now. She's like, obviously, you know what you're doing. You're not cutting my grass anymore. You're not fertilizing. Like, you're done. I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? But at that moment, I was like, okay, I learned something new. Like, use the broadcaster next time. But I'd never done it before in my life, and I took a chance. But there's licenses and stuff like that for that, which I didn't have.
Yeah.
I was just trying to make a couple dollars, you know?
For sure. No, I was saying, no, whatever you got to do to get rolling. I mean, like, if you ain't, you
just got to go.
You got to
go.
And
jump off the
out.
cliff and go. Go.
Yeah.
Go. It don't matter if you don't have a dollar. Just go. Go.
That's like, you know, from kind of startup, entrepreneurship, all that. It's like, yeah, you just gotta keep figuring it out. And it's like, you're gonna get hit with so much stuff, and like on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, and it's like new trends are gonna come out, and it's just like, you're gonna get here like, damn it, like I just built all this, and now something new just came out. And it's like, that was all
it's nonstop. Like it will never stop. It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop punching. Like I guess let's talk about the future.
Yep.
I think where it does stop is where you start becoming more of the owner, and you start hiring more bosses. Like I hear the word boss, and I sort of shiver because I don't think I want to be a boss anymore. I just, let me hire some bosses and boss this shit, and I'll be the owner. You know what I mean? 100%. Like, you handle this business, and just fill me in on where we need to be, and I'll help, you mean, guide you through. But I don't know if I want to be I'm not really a good boss.